let's take a look at our top selections for Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 9 at Keeneland on Saturday is the Grade 1 Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup presented by Dixiana. Let's take a look at the field. 1.125 miles on the turf, 3-year-old fillies. There are some really nice horses in this race, including the number 4, Magic Attitude, who really kicked hard to win the Belmont Oaks in impressive fashion in her North American debut.
She certainly did. I mean, she came over with good form from France, Dan, and she certainly looked good winning that Grade 1 at Belmont last time. They kept her within range. She was last, but within range of that pace, she came with a very strong finish to overwhelm that field.
Let's take a look at the time form U.S. pace projector for this race. They've got Todd Pletcher's runner, the 2, Sweet Melania, expected to make the lead. Sweet Melania is versatile. She's won from off of it. She went gate to wire on the Wonder again, 2 starts back. Antoinette, the 3, does have a good amount of early speed. I would expect her to be close as well. I think with Sweet Melania, the whole question's distance.
Yeah, I agree with you. I sort of feel like she has a lot to prove going 9 furlongs. If nothing else, Dan, I got to believe they'll try to put her on the lead this time. I was a little surprised they didn't put her on the lead in the Lake George last time. Not that she didn't run well in there. She ran fine to just miss by a nose, but I do think she might be just at her absolute best when she's on the front.
The 1, Harvey's Little Goyle, is good on dirt. She's good on turf. She won the Regret at this distance on turf, 3 starts back. 3rd in the Alabama behind Swiss Skydiver on dirt, 2 starts back. Mike, don't you think they were just a little too aggressive last time out with her in the Dueling Grounds Oaks? I mean, Jose Ortiz just really had her up close to the pace from the get-go. She took over a clear lead in the stretch, and she just got run down late.
Yeah, I do think that. Boy, I watch those races from Kentucky Downs, Dan, and I have no idea what's going on. And I don't really know how to evaluate them. I will say, though, just in watching it back, not only did it feel like they were too aggressive, why are you 5 and 6 wide all the way around the track contesting the pace, too? It just feels like the trip might have done her in last time. I actually, overall, I thought she ran a great race last time.
No, she ran perfectly fine, and the cutback to 1.125 miles, I think just what the doctor ordered. Nice inside post, good tactical speed, good trip coming. Sweet Melania, let's watch her last race in the Lake George. She's beaten at 7-10 off a mini layoff. All in all, the trip worked out. She's coming up the inside. She saved ground every step. She was on hold briefly at the 5/16, but as you see, the rail opened up. She bursts on through, but the horse that follows her selflessly at a big price is going to run her down. This is somewhat of a disappointing loss.
Yeah, it is a disappointing loss. She was 3-5 in here. And, as we mentioned before, maybe she's had her absolute best on the early lead, but you can't give her really a trip excuse for that Lake George last time. I mean, it worked out perfectly, and she just got run down at the end, and now she's got to get an extra furlong. She has run well over this turf course before. She has good speed. I like the word that you used there when I'm talking about her Lake George, the burst through the inside. It feels like she has one good burst in her, and she's going to need to time it perfectly, I think, to hold this field off.
Like Harvey's Little Goyle, the 3, Antoinette, is capable on dirt, capable on turf. She won the Saratoga Oaks 2 starts back with a nice ride from Johnny V on the lead. She faced Magic Attitude last time out, though, and it's hard when you watch this race to say, I want Antoinette back. Let's watch this performance right now from Magic Attitude in the Belmont Oaks. Antoinette had all the best of it on the early lead. Here's Magic Attitude coming widest and fastest. Magic Attitude just runs right by her.
Yeah, I just ran her over in this race, and it just seems like Magic Attitude just might be the better horse. That was 1.25 miles. This is 1.125 miles. Maybe it will make some kind of a difference here. I still like Antoinette as a horse, and I do think she's pretty good. I like her as a turf horse. This is a very tough spot for her.
Do you think the distance made all the difference for Magic Attitude last time out, and that perhaps cutting back to 1.125 miles, it might be a little sharp for her? 1.125 miles wasn't sharp for her in France, although those distances might play a little bit longer over there. She was very visually impressive against the right field and the right situation in the Belmont Oaks.
Yeah, those things are true, but just the way that she won that race, it just makes you feel like she's good. I mean, it felt like she was good coming over. Her last 3 starts over in France, they were really good performances. 2 major Group 1s over there, and you mentioned that Group 3 win over 1.125 miles where she was just dominant. And then she came over here and did what she did in the Belmont Oaks. It just feels like she's a really good horse.
Lucky Betty ran fine last time out to pick up a graded stakes placing in the Edgewood, third that day. Third start of the form cycle, lightly raced. She has upside. She's going to have to run a lot better, though, as she takes on some really nice fillies.
Yeah, I think she's improved on turf. She's probably going to have to improve again.
I know you're a fan of Hendy Woods, and I think Hendy Woods ran okay last time out in the Edgewood. All in all, I thought it was a good trip. She was able to sit the pocket most of the way. She steadied a little bit on the first turn, but she recovered to find a good spot, and she wanted to come up the rail turning into the stretch. That closed. She got to the outside. She finished evenly to be second behind a very good filly in Sharing. I'm not sure I completely want to give up on this one just yet.
Yeah, me either. And she's going to be a great price in this race. I think she's good, Dan. She ran fine last time. Her win at Indiana Grand two-back. I actually felt like she ran well in that race. That was a good effort without a great trip. And the one time, if you want to say that the one time they tested her before that was in the Regret going this distance at Churchill, she ran a lot better than it looks that day behind Harvey's Little Goal. She did not have a fair chance in that race. I thought that was an underrated try. I like this horse. I think she still has some upside. I'm going to use her at a price.
Let's watch Micheline run down Harvey's Little Goyle in the aforementioned Dueling Grounds Oaks. As you see, we're going to see Harvey's Little Goyle. She's the gray. She is in front. She went for home early. You see the blue of Micheline with the white blinkers on the outside, and she's going to wear her down in the stretch. And again, I think the trip and the pace scenario kind of worked to Micheline's favor, and maybe the distance as well.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it. That being said, I actually think Micheline's a really nice horse, and I don't think she's impossible in this race at all. She's very versatile. She tends to show up every time, and even with her getting a really good ride for Rosario last time, where Harvey's Little Goal did not, she still ran a nice race in there to close that thing down at the end. This filly is underrated, and she might be a fair price once again.
From Southern California come our next two entrants, the 8 California Kook, the 9 Red Lark. They both competed in the Del Mar Oaks on August the 22nd, won by Red Lark. Let's watch that race right now. Red Lark got the jump on California Kook. Red Lark is the number 7. She's about to move into second position right now. California Kook was at the back. She came widest, and she came with a really strong late run to finish second. Now, California Kook has run since this race. They ran her against the boys in the Del Mar Derby, and she just caught a race where the pace held up completely. There was no closing at the back of the pack. Flavien Prat tried to mid-move to get into it, and with that situation, it just didn't work out for her. Both of these fillies probably have to improve. They're probably facing tougher competition. California Kook, to me, is a little bit interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that. Of the two, I'd rather have California Kook. She just had no chance last time, and all things considered, didn't run poorly at all. I do think they're both going to have to improve in this race, but California Kook, she's going to need pace in this race. I don't know if she's going to get it, but I do think she could take another step forward here.
Based on her price potential, as we look at our top picks, that's where I landed. My main concern is, let's say she gets pace. Is she really a better kicker than the European horse, the number 4 Magic Attitude? Probably not. But the price is going to be right. I think she was compromised by the last race. I think she ran well in the Del Mar Oaks 2 starts back. I think she's actually okay. Harvey's Little Goyle is your pick. She makes all the sense in the world. The 4-horse Magic Attitude, your second pick, all the sense in the world. I'm just going with a little bit of a price.
I have no problem with that. I fairly chalked it out here. I do expect the 1 and the 4 to be the 2 favorites in here. And I took Harvey's Little Goyle's tactical speed. I feel drawn to the rail with her tactical speed. I can see a good trip coming from her. And I just thought she ran really well last time and got very unlucky.
She's a very talented horse. She's really done nothing wrong. She's had maybe one bad race, the Fantasy, in her life. Other than that, she's been rock solid. 1467 for Mike, 8413 for me. It's the Grade 1 Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup, presented by Dixiana. Race number 9 at Keeneland. Approximate post time 5:30 Eastern. Good luck.